Tonight on 8 out of 10 Cats, going for gold, it's Lewis Smith. Here we go, it's Henning Wehn. And their team captain, Jon Locke. And facing them tonight, hey, big spender, it's Kelly Hoppen. Here for the crack, it's David O Doherty. And their team captain, Jon Richardson. Now, welcome your host, Jimmy Carr.
Hello and welcome to 8 out of 10 Cats, a show about opinion polls, surveys and statistics. Did you know, for example, a third of university students don't know how to boil an egg? Idiots. Fancy not being able to use a microwave and a hammer. 23% of grandparents help fund their grandchildren through university, usually by dying. And a study claims 25% of people who've had cosmetic surgery lied to get it paid for by the NHS. I know I did. I told the doctor my girlfriend was unsatisfied by my tiny penis, but I was lying. I haven't got a girlfriend. Right, let's get started. What are you talking about? That's the name of our first round. It's our panelist's job to guess the British public's top 3 most popular talking points. Sean's team, what do you think the nation have been talking about this week?
Is it the car racing guy? Lewis Hamilton, yeah. He won the World Championships, world champion of the... I've got the fastest machine competition, which appears to be whoever's got the fastest car wins. Should be the car that wins, and at the end, the car doesn't get anything. It doesn't even get, like, a nice tank of petrol. Or ride out in the countryside instead of going round and round a fucking track.
It's a lovely thought. Henning, do you like Formula One?
I went once to Silverstone, and it was a fairly underwhelming experience. I bought one of them ground passes, and that allows you to walk around the circuit, and then at the point of your choosing, you're allowed to press your face against the fence. The problem is, the cars, they're so small in reality and so fast. When they were going by, you couldn't even make out their colour. It was just a ball of noise flying past. And this is the worst day out I've ever had.
Lewis, would you fancy a go at it? I mean, you're a sportsman.
I'd love to have a go, yeah. I like a bit of adrenaline.
You like a bit of adrenaline? Oh, yeah. Gymnastics.
I'm sorry. Have you tried doing a back somersault?
Have I tried doing a back somersault? How do you think I got on stage this evening? I somersault in.
Oh, really? We must have missed that one. Please show us again for the cameras.
OK, fine. Well, no, because of health and safety, I probably shouldn't in these heels. You can't do a back somersault just off the bat. You have to warm up.
Are you
and
asking
stuff.
me or telling me?
I think we're flirting. Can you do a back... Go on, do a back somersault.
All right. Let's go warm up first.
You've got to warm up. I told you had to warm up.
That's not one,
Oh, what? Oh, Jesus. Don't do that. Ah!
What's up?
This is...
You're next, though, yeah?
Yeah, no, straight after, but I'm just
go
gonna...
this way.
Just watching, because I need to learn the technique.
Oh,
OK.
Oh! Have done?
Yeah, sure. OK. So and then...
Go on, undo a few buttons first.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Whoa, yeah!
Yeah, you fancy it?
Whoa!
Ready?
No, don't actually do it!
I thought there was no adrenaline in gymnastics, so this would be easy.
Yeah.
All right, there is some. Can you, I mean... Pretty impressive. Does anyone else fancy having a go at anything?
I can't do backward somersault, but I can do this. Can you put the sound on later? That's a big one.
David, you were you Leinster under-15 triple jump champion?
Get it right, James. I was 1990 East Leinster under-14s triple jump bronze medalist. No, I'm terribly impressed by that in a way that I'm not so much by Formula. I think the problem with Formula One is I look at it and I have a few sports where I just think, yeah, I could do that. The closest I would get to Formula One would be Mario Kart, which I am virtually unbeatable at. And then you add into the pressure of that, having to drive over boxes and being chased by a kind of a dragon. No disrespect, like a real one. So I'm more impressed by that than that.
I think I'm with you. Do you reckon you'd be any good at it, John?
No, I don't admire speed. I'm more into sort of safety. To be fair, Formula One, I think, is one of the few sports that if I went into it, I would be one of the exciting people in the sport. Do you know what he said he was going to celebrate by having a few nice dinners? Even I looked at that and thought, oh, sod off. They say he's going to marry, what's his girlfriend?
Nicole Scherzinger.
Because of the marketing capabilities, and that's what I'm doing.
Who are you going to marry?
Well, I'm marrying my girlfriend Lucy. We're going to create our brand Juicy. Some fragrances, Jon Richardson Y fronts, chastity belt, rubber John Johnnies. All available next May, out in the shops.
Kelly, were you impressed, Kelly?
By John now, or... Because I was very impressed.
We're clutching at straws there, but go by Lewis Hamilton's achievement.
Well, yeah, I mean, listen, I think... I disagree with Sean. I think, actually, it's the driver that drives the car, because you've got...
I think...
No,
I didn't say they don't drive the car.
You were saying the car...
I don't say they're just sitting there going...
No. What you said was the car should get some form of acknowledgement, but actually, I think... I mean, it's fast and it's furious, and I would hate to be any part of it.
The other thing I don't like about it is all the sponsorship. I mean, do they have any clothes that aren't sponsored? Does, like, Lewis Hamilton wake up in the morning and go, what shall I wear? The pepperami trousers or the Branston pickle jacket?
Two brilliant examples of sponsorship there. Pepperami and Branston pickle. I think that may explain recent medical problems you've been having.
It'd be great, wouldn't it, if Formula One was sponsored by Branston Pickle, wouldn't it? And instead of champagne at the end, he just shook up a jar of Branston and just flicked it at the drivers.
Well, it's more or less what they did, didn't they? Because it was in Abu Dhabi, they couldn't have champagne. So they had, like, elderflower...
Cordial.
Yeah. And it's like, well, in Abu Dhabi, you're not allowed to drink champagne, but apparently you're allowed to kiss a man's helmet in public.
Let's take a look at that moment.
Why wouldn't he take it? I mean, he's finished the race. He doesn't need to, which brings in my conspiracy theory that, in fact, it wasn't Lewis Hamilton under there. It was me!
Well, shall we have a look and see if Lewis Hamilton is up there? Of course. Let's talk about them. Yes, Lewis Hamilton's won the Formula One championship for a second time. A modern Formula One racing car emits a sound louder than a jumbo jet, but fortunately, Lewis Hamilton always wears earplugs because he goes out with Nicole Scherzinger. John Steen, what else has the nation been talking about this week?
Well, we will talk about that next week, that sound.
Yeah. Your ball's dropping.
One of your politicians was very rude to a taxi driver who recorded it and sold it to the Sun.
David Mellor.
Yeah.
Should we have a listen? Let's have a listen.
You got in here and then you start telling me what way to go. I said to you, look, to be honest with you, it's Friday night, it's 5 to 6, right? You may have lived in London 40 years or however long, but I've been driving a cab for 10 years.
You've been driving a cab for 10 years. I've been in the cabinet. I'm an award-winning broadcaster. I'm a Queen's Counsel. You think what your experiences are
You haven't.
to mine?
No.
Just shut up, for Christ's sake. Drive me where you want to go and keep a civil tongue in your head, okay? And don't give me a lot of I don't want to hear it.
Oh, that is...
I think it's pretty clear who's the arsehole there. I don't think there's any doubt in that situation. And for younger viewers who don't know who David Mellor is, He's a huge arsehole.
Should we treat ourselves to a bit more?
Yeah, I like it, yeah.
To be honest with you, Mr. Miller,
I don't want to hear about you being honest. And if you think you're going to be sarky, get a better education before you're sarky with me. Listen to Ken and I tomorrow. You're going to get a bucket full. And your friends, I have so many cabbies that get in a cab. They listen to my show. They're proud to do so. I'm going to tell them what you've done. Uber is going to be my thing. Okay? You up our day. How dare you? On a little stupid little arm.
What's amazing over the course of the full thing is how many times he mentions his radio show. It starts to sound like he knows he's being recorded and he's using it as an advert. You listen to me at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning on LBC when I will be joined by none other than Phil Collins. He's listed. It's so funny when someone loses it and he starts listing his accomplishments and he's running out. And it's, I am an award-winning broadcaster. I was in Dictionary Corner on Countdown. I have 2 sets of golf clubs.
I was the 1990 East Leinster under-14s triple jump bronze medalist, so...
Doesn't work.
I heard that somewhere. Heard that. Kelly, what did you make of that?
I just think it's atrocious. I mean, if you get into a cab, you give them the address, and that's the job of the cabbie to take you the best route. You don't sit there and tell him how to go. You wouldn't call a plumber and end up doing his job for him.
Well, I've seen some plumbing videos online where
no, but
things get quite heated between some of their female customers.
I just think that he's a complete... That's funny.
Thanks. You're so sweet.
I think he's a complete dickhead.
Lewis, do people recognise you in the back of a cab?
I did get corrected the other day, actually. I went into a cab at King's Cross and I said, I'd like to go to the Mayfair Hotel on Berkeley Street. And he goes, Stratton Street, mate, actually, stick to gymnastics. And there was a good awkward silence for about 2 or 3 minutes.
I didn't even know Sean had a cab. OK, let's see if it's up there. Yes, it's David Mellor's heated row with a taxi driver. It's great to have David Mellor's face back in the newspapers, especially if you've always wondered what the crazy frog would look like taking a shit. So, Sean's team, what else did the nation be talking about over the last week?
It seems to get on the front pages a lot these days, which are stories of obesity. And the latest one is that, due to the government's sort of guidelines on the NHS, 2 million people are entitled to gastric bans.
Yeah, it's incredible. I think it's quite good news, isn't it, if you need to lose a bit of weight?
Well, no, it's not good news, because they could do it without gastric bans. They could do it.
Well, apparently not. The rather unfortunately named obesity expert, Dr. Rachel Batterham. That is her name. She said that many obese patients find it virtually impossible to lose weight.
Well, yeah, because they keep eating.
The idea is to save society money. That's the underlying idea, isn't it? You want the NHS to save money. In many ways, you could come to a quicker result if you just keep feeding them.
By putting the band in, do people actually physically lose the weight, or do they just...
Yeah, they do. It's because it sort of starts them off, and then they lose a lot of weight, and then they feel better about
And
themselves,
do they
and then
take
they can
the
exercise.
band out, then?
Yeah, eventually, yeah.
It can be quite dangerous, though.
Oh, yeah, it can be very dangerous. People die having it done. It can kill them, but that's Henning's plan anyway. So, it's not the end of the world.
It seems quite basic, though. That's my worry about it. If I had to do it, I'd think that's quite a Route 1 idea. Who would just wrap an elastic band around your stomach? It started off with stapling. I think they've just gone in Ryman's and just thought, we'll go with a stapler. The next one will be you just feed your fat into a shredder, and just get a Pritt stick and just stick it back up like that. But there will come a point, if we don't deal with it, where more people are fat than are not fat, and then fat people will be in power, and they will be passing legislation to make thin people fat. So we're saying...
No, they won't, because most of them will be up north and the country will just flip.
One of the proposals was that you refuse to serve obese people in fast food restaurants, which would be a tricky one to enforce.
Well, like in a bar when you've had too much booze and they go, I think you've had enough. In KFC, go, ooh. Whoa, so I think Sir's had quite enough already. I have an idea of narrowing the doorways of chip shops. Oh, so how do you stay in shape, Lewis?
I think exercise is just routine. If it's not something you normally do, then it's hard to kickstart it.
What do you do? So, end of the Olympics, right? You've done all that training, you've been through all that, and that was your goal. What do you have to treat yourself at the end?
Everything. Indian, Chinese, KFC, all the stuff you've starved yourself of like 12 weeks, just pack it all in.
Well, some people are living like that the whole time.
The problem is at the moment society accommodates overweight people too well. I was in a men's outfitter in Shrewsbury the other day.
Oh, you live a life, don't you?
So, and then I tried on a nice pair of corduroy trousers. And I couldn't button them up. And then the bloke that runs the place says, ooh, maybe try one size easier. Rather than, you're a fat bastard.
We have a thing over here, Henning, called customer service. Is if you make a living by selling stuff, it's better not to have people walk in your shop and go, all right, fat fucker, we haven't got anything for you.
Well, I had that in that I have a 36-inch waist, but I have a fantastically short leg. I have a 31-inch leg. And so I tried in the Levi's shop to get those jeans, and the guy just said, no, that doesn't happen. That does not exist. And I was like, look, and he's like, no, they're wrong.
Can we see your weird body shape?
Well,
because I'm just wondering how short these legs actually are.
I once had to pose in a life drawing class.
This is a really weird pose right now.
I had to...
Walk round and stand in front of the thing.
I think that's the way forward.
Before I did this as a job, I posed naked in a life drawing class, and people drew me, and the person who was marking the drawings just went, nah, you've all done this really badly. And it was, in fact, because of these tiny weeny...
You've got little... Look at the little hooves.
Yeah. They're not ridiculous, but
the length of your torso is remarkable. It's...
Long body, short legs.
Yeah. You don't know what the struggle that is my life. You people don't even know what it's like to have, like, an iPod in your pocket and the headphones on, you go...
Do you know, David, though, that body is very desirable in Middle-earth.
Women go mad for
it. Well, that's not one of the most talked about things over the last week. The worry is the obesity epidemic will bring the country to its knees, and it'll be too fat to get back up again. What do you think the nation will be talking about over the last week?
Is it... Well, it's Christmas again, so there'll be a story about a terrible winter wonderland experience. And this year, it's Lawrence Llewellyn-Bowen in the hot seat, isn't it?
Yeah, the interior designer.
This one was a disaster. They had elves smoking. Father Christmas was drunk and was offering kids...
It sounds amazing.
What was it? They said the promoters were saying that it was all about making memories, and I think this would be memorable.
The problem was the marketing. They just shouldn't have called it Winter Wonderland. They should have called it, like, Shitmas Crap Town. They should have gone to just the shittest Christmas ever.
They called it the magical journey.
Well, one of the problems that they said that the elves were telling the kids they hoped they had a shit Christmas. I think the problem is, if you have a Midlands accent, sometimes, even if you're wishing someone a happy Christmas, it can sound a bit, I hope you have a wonderful Christmas. It's just kids going out, there's no need to be like that, you dick.
They deserve it. Anyone taking their kids to a winter Christmas wonderland in November deserves to have a shit time. And anyway, maybe it's just the arse end of Lawrence Llewellyn-Bowen's Halloween Nightmare Town. And everyone went, this is horrific. And he's like, sweet.
It's just a very clever marketing ploy, isn't it? Most of them things never happen. Like, they make it up. Oh, this is so bad, you have to go and see it with your own eyes to believe it. And then everyone goes in there and says, oh, well, it's just disappointing.
Yeah. The German tourist board there.
Germany is exciting, and I tell you what, if you want to experience an authentic German Christmas experience in the UK, go to Birmingham and enjoy the German Christmas market. I was there this year on the opening night, and I'm amazed how many of my countrymen are fluent in Romanian.
You're a big fan of Christmas markets because I've heard a radio ad of yours.
Yeah, from donkeys ago for the Brighton Christmas market, yes.
Should we have a listen?
Yes, please.
Oh, yeah, go on then.
I'm loving the Breitenweizer seaside. It reminds me of beautiful Boltenhagen. And I'm loving your German market at the Churchill Square. Knickknacks, gifted things, and all sorts of crafted things. And yummy things you don't get seeing nowhere else, except in beautiful Boltenhagen. Jawohl.
Very few radio ads where people mention knickknacks and yummy things.
The funny thing about that was, when I recorded that, the bloke said, "You sound too English, sound more German." So, and then I gave the most over-the-top version. I think that's exactly what we needed.
I thought you were like those Dolmio pasta guys, but the German version. You know the Dolmio foam little bastards? I hate them. You see them, you just want to put a lighter near them, don't you? I thought you were like a sort of German version of that.
Back to Winter Wonderland.
Winter Wonderland.
Would you take the kids there?
No, I wouldn't take my kids to anything. To
What if they've done something awful?
Lawrence Llewellyn Bowen. I mean, this is a man who looks himself in the mirror and then still leaves the house.
We've got a still of him. Here's a still of Lawrence Llewellyn Bowen. I'm not sure. Why is he gone as one of the Three Musketeers?
Yeah.
Kelly, you're an interior designer. Is he in any way competition?
No, definitely not. No, but he's not. You know, he's definitely not.
Fight. All the interior designers get together. Like
No, but I would
WWE.
never go and design a Winter Wonderland, ever. And I think that Lawrence's style is very over the top in the way that he dresses. It's kind of like, let's put everything into a room all at once and puff it up and light it and boom, that's it. Whereas I am...
Good at it.
Very good.
Lewis, would you go to the Winter Wonderland?
Probably not.
Probably not.
I don't see why you'd go anywhere if you could do backward somersaults. I mean, it's just the sort of thing you can just amuse yourself. Like you think, I could go out today, or I could just go, hey!
People always say this. Like,
People always say what?
People always say, oh, if I could do backflips, I'd be doing them everywhere. You wouldn't. You wouldn't. You'd look like a right tit just doing backflips everywhere.
Yeah, no, that's why I don't do them. That's why I didn't do one earlier. OK. It's not up there, but I can tell you Lawrence Llewellyn Bowen's Winter Wonderland has reopened despite hundreds of complaints. Lawrence Llewellyn Bowen's Winter Wonderland is such an atrocity. After it opened, Al-Qaeda rang up and claimed responsibility. Fun. OK, fingers on buzzers. One more thing still to get. Lewis?
I'm a celebrity. That's on it, isn't it?
What was that?
I was thinking of Gemma Collins. Really bad, especially after the whole gastric bypass and all that thing.
So, I'm a celebrity. Do you watch the show?
Bits and bobs.
Bits and bobs. Would you ever consider going in the jungle?
For a serious amount of dough, yes.
OK, but, I mean, fast forward 12 months.
Such a dick.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I wouldn't do it. I hate bugs. Butterflies, moths. Well, butterflies aren't too bad, but moths and spiders.
Because that's the thing, isn't it? Before you go in, you've got to say what you're afraid of. And then
So and in that case, I'd say I'd hate comfy beds, I hate bug spray.
I reckon they'd see through that.
The big news this week was an argument in the camp between Kendra and Edwina Curry. Should we have a look?
Sometimes you put other people first.
Being here is the right decision, and I'm not going to let you or anyone tell me that that's the wrong decision.
I'm going to tell you it's the wrong decision. You can't stop me doing what I think is right. So there. That's the problem with that philosophy, because then you have everybody saying, I'm going to do my thing, and nobody does anything together.
But you're not seeing the heart of what we're saying. So you might as well shut the up and get the out of our conversation, because you're not seeing the heart of it. So take your heartless ass out of our conversation and shut the up and go back to sleep where you belong.
Horrible person.
She's got lovely breasts, though.
How did I make her say what I was thinking? That's the question. That's an incredible feat. Well done, me.
No.
The amazing one on this series is Jake Quickenden, because the show he got voted off from hasn't even finished yet. He got voted out of X Factor. 2 weeks later, he went in the jungle. If he gets out of there in time to do the Strictly Christmas special, he's done. In 5 months, he's had his whole career. Incredible. Admire his efficiency. Should we wait for the jungle next year? No, now. I can still get on a plane now. I can be eating a kangaroo dick on Tuesday.
Also, it says something very sick about us. The people, that's the main thing people want to watch. And you think, what have these celebrities done to deserve all this abuse, this humiliation? You realise what they've done to deserve it is nothing. And that's why people want to watch it. They think, look at you, you've got a big house, you know, big car, tanned wife or girlfriend, and you've done fuck all. Eat that bollock.
We shouldn't just talk about the bad things, though, because Gemma Collins said the experience of being in there has put her off television for life. And I think we should celebrate the good things that come out of I'm a Celebrity.
Let's have a look and see if I'm a Celebrity's up there. Yes, it's I'm a Celebrity. During one of the trials, Jake Quickenden was bitten on the testicle by an ant. He's just lucky Deck didn't have a go on the other one. Kendra and Edwina Curry had a massive row in the jungle, and surprisingly, not over which one had fucked the most disgusting old man. So those were the most talked about things over the last week. But in other news, it's been revealed 70% of chicken sold in the UK are contaminated with a food poisoning bug. Following these damaging revelations, experts warn the bottom may fall out of the chicken industry and anyone that eats it. You can avoid getting poisoned by chicken if you follow a simple set of nan-dos and nan-don'ts. After eating chicken, are you feeling hot, medium hot, or lemon and herb? And ex-Tory Minister Andrew Mitchell has lost a libel case against The Sun after a judge ruled he probably did call police officers plebs. The only way Andrew Mitchell's day could get any worse is if he got picked up outside court by David Mellor's cab driver and taken to Lawrence Llewellyn-Bowen's Winter Wonderland. Pick of the polls. John, Kelly, David, pick a question.
Let's have the gentleman painting there, and he's not put masking tape on his skirting board, so he's going to have to do that again.
OK. Most people think they're good at interior design. True or false?
It's true.
Do you think people think they are good at interior design?
Oh, yeah, totally.
And do you think they are?
No.
What's the worst thing you see?
I mean, you haven't got long enough. I mean, just...
Heard that before.
Yeah.
That's not really an interior design issue.
No, but it's normally size that is the problem. In other words, people put the wrong size furniture in rooms. Like, so proportion is wrong.
So if you've got an average-sized living room, should you put tiny furniture in there to make it look like it's far away? What are you saying? Yeah. Well, like, put doll's furniture in there. People go, your house is massive.
Enormous. I think what it is that people don't measure it and plan it properly. You wouldn't just order something on the internet and not check the size and put the clothes on. It's the same kind of thing.
Did you order stuff online and not?
Might have done that, yeah.
What did you order?
A sofa which didn't fit.
I mean, literally didn't fit?
You couldn't get through the front door because it blocked it.
What happens in that scenario? You just...
I have to go around the back of the house, go out the sofa, and go back.
OK, and then how does it look in the room?
It looks better now. I've moved to a better house and it's bigger, but...
You bought a sofa that was too big and then had to move house to accommodate...
It's not the reason I moved house.
It sounds like it's one of the reasons.
It played a factor, yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
All you need to do, paint your house white, on a table in the hallway, bowl of pebbles. Lovely.
Oh.
Nice bowl of pebbles, everything white, and, like, maybe a vase with, like, a reed sticking out of it.
I wish I'd thought of that.
No skulls. Don't put a skull. No skulls.
My friend's a painter, and he was painting my house, and he sent me off to the paint shop to buy 2 colours, and he'd written them down on a bit of paper, and I handed them over, and they all laughed in the paint shop, and he had written down on the piece of paper the 2 colours he wanted were panty bunting and grandma's labia. tried to ring him up and he was like...
One man in America designed his house so that everything worked electronically. Let's take a look.
People are fascinated by gimmicks. If you have to use the toilet, you just push this button here, and it becomes a regular potty. That was probably one of the first things I did. I don't know why I did it, though. You'll have to stand back there, though, in order to appreciate this one. Because, see, you can go around in circles. Whoa! That's okay. No problem.
Do you think he's done a good job?
I just think that gimmicks don't work. I mean, I've had somebody in the past ask me to put a fireman's pole in the bedroom.
That was not a fireman's pole. Henning, how have you decorated your beautiful home?
Decorates itself, really. I live in London. You can't swing a cat in a room or something. I can't even swing a fist in my kitchen. That's the reality of life in London. I mean, all is so... And that's why there is never any London contestants on Come Dine With Me.
That's the real problem here, yes. Finally, we got to the heart of the bloody issue.
Yeah. Where do you want to sit them dinner guests? Like, I live in a normal flat, so I can sit 2 people in the kitchen, probably 2 in the bedroom, say 3 in the living room, 1 in the hallway. Can't have anyone in the cupboard. Boris Becker is staying with me.
OK, let's get some answers on this. So most people think they're good at interior design. What are you going to go with, John?
I will defer to the expert, I think.
Yes.
So you're saying true, OK. What would you go with, Sean?
We're up, so we played safe. We say the same as them.
True. Cancel them out.
OK. I can tell you the answer is true. 54% of people think they are good at interior design. To make better use of space in our lounge, we knocked through to the next room. The neighbours were livid. And the winner is the name of our final round. Here's your question. Worst thing to be told about yourself? What do you think?
He's yours.
What's the worst thing that people say about you? Just give us, like, the top 5 things that people say that annoy you.
Someone called me a shitwank the other day. I quite like that. I've obviously pissed you off and you thought, but actually I'm going to go away and think of something to call him. And he's just thought, if I put shit and wank, I'll call him a shitwank.
Someone came up to me on a train recently and said that I reminded them of that awful comedian, David O Doherty. So I was like, yeah, that prick. Oh.
For me, the worst bit, if someone were to say, I'm flesh. If that was general consensus, was that I'm flesh, that would make me suicidal.
Well, it's a pretty nice burgundy jumper you've got on this evening. You are flash compared to some people.
Yeah.
Ish.
Yeah, but not ish. Thank you very much.
The worst thing you can be told about yourself is, we got it all on tape. That's the worst one. David Miller found that out this week. He got the call from the Sun. Yeah, we'll prove it. Oh, shit.
Lewis, what's the worst thing you could say about a gymnast?
You're shit.
Thanks, Carl. I don't know, I mean, there's all sorts of stereotypes. I mean, a lot of people think I'm gay, which isn't the case.
But does that annoy you, or do you just think if people go...
No, because I know I like women. If there's anyone out there, you know, you want to test that out, feel free.
I'm a beautiful young woman.
You are not a beautiful young woman, surely.
Do what you want with me. Soldier.
You're an old man.
What do you think? Worst thing about yourself?
You smell.
You smell?
You smell.
You smell?
You smell.
You smell?
You smell.
You smell nice. Shut up, stop it, you. Well, Kelly, you smell is the right answer. Yes, the worst thing to be told about yourself is you smell. One of the most awkward things to do is to tell someone they smell. The best thing to do is pick a private place and tell them they should wash that private place more often because it reeks. Well, that sound tells me it's the end of the round and the end of the show, which means the final scores are Sean, Henning and Lewis have 3 points. John, Kelly and David have 3 points. It's a draw. Everyone's a winner. Thanks to all our panellists, our wonderful studio audience, and to all of you for watching at home. That's it from us. Good night.